Hi, everybody. I'm adjusting my headphones because it's super loud in my ears. How is everybody doing on this Saturday night? Welcome to Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies live stream. Um, I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. Last time I saw everybody was pie and coffee on Thanksgiving, where we talked about one of my favorite subjects, folk horror. I hope you watched and I hope you enjoyed. If you're watching tonight, I do want to say thank you if you're watching on Facebook. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube. And thank you if you're watching at a later time. You know what I like to say? There's so many podcasts and podcasts and blogs and all that kind of stuff that I want to, and podcasts, everything that I want to listen to and watch, and I don't have time. So I listen to them in the background while I'm doing a little housework, putting on my makeup. And I suggest that you do the same with these live streams if you don't get to watch them live. So anytime you're watching them, I do appreciate it. Make sure, let's see if I know what I'm doing. I want to do. Make sure that you do like and subscribe, share, tell your friends. I am trying to build a little channel, a little algorithm here. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Please like, share, subscribe, build a channel, new to live stream, new to live stream. As you all know, I'm very new to live stream. Feel free to critique, but please be kind. I do appreciate that. In fact, if you do have a critique, I would prefer that you DM me and not kind of bash me in private and not in public. But I am new to it and I am new to StreamYard, and I continue to sing the praises of StreamYard. They do not pay me, I pay them to use this. But I strongly recommend it if you're interested in getting involved in live streaming. It's great and it's very easy to use, very easy to share between Facebook and YouTube and other platforms, all from this one software. So I love it. I should see if they want to sponsor me. Let's see, I want to do remind folks that we are an 18 and over platform. There really shouldn't be any kids watching. Sometimes we do talk about disturbing things. And you know what I like to say? I always find it quite disturbing that we're not more disturbed by the disturbing things that we talk about. But yeah, that being said, it is an 18 and over conversation here. Please get comfortable, pour a glass of wine, cup of coffee, crack a cold beer. This is a 420 friendly space. Smoke them if you got them, because I know I sure did. Curl up in your easy chair, get a blanket, get comfortable, and we want you to listen. So we do have. Oh, and I do have notes. Um, so, and as I always say, you will bear with me. And any research that I did, I don't have a lot of research here because I'm going to be interviewing someone. And any research that I did, I am my own research assistant. So any errors are mine 100%. Let's see, we've got some people watching. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Sue. Hi, Lisa. Yule. Lisa guessed the word of the day. I'm going to be sending Lisa, you won tarot, a deck of tarot cards. I'll be shipping that out to you this week for saying the word of the day. And hi, Sandy. I'm so glad that everybody is joining us. I also wanted to remind folks that I am coming at you live from Lizzie Lou Studio, being named after my cousin Michelle and myself. So, and we're going to get coffee cups made up that say Lizzie Lou Studio. So I hope you'll be interested in those. Again, thank you everybody for watching. I am going to do my best to interact. But I do want to talk about my guest that we have tonight. We have Matthew Ryan Kondracki is going to be our guest. I'm going to interview him. I'm really excited to interview him. I'm going to tell you how I met him. You all know I love paranormal and do paranormal investigating. Well, Matt hosted an event near my mom's house in Connecticut, so it was a no-brainer for me. So I got the first ticket. I booked the first ticket to that event, and I ended up bringing telling a whole bunch of my friends about it, and a couple of other people, like Sue's watching tonight. She came, and we all went to this event, and it was a live stream paranormal investigation at this historic restaurant in Connecticut. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun, from everything from having a quality catered event, like kind of like a Hollywood set would be catered. I was a little starstruck, a little fangirl, I must admit, the way the whole thing was set up. Um, but it was catered. The food was delicious. We absolutely loved the food. There were beverages provided by the sponsor. We learned a ton about the history of this location, and we saw the inner workings of a live stream. And I fell in love with it. And it was the inner workings of StreamYard, and here I am with StreamYard. But I was impressed with two things. I was impressed with how this event was both professional and casual at the same time, and that really struck me. I had a lot of fun, I had a lot of laughs, but I also felt that it took itself seriously. There was nothing jokey, there were no jump scares, nothing like that. This was a very serious paranormal investigation. And I know the other people that went with me are serious paranormal investigators. They wouldn't have gone if it weren't. So that was the event. It was very fun. The place was crazy active, crazy active. I had a insane experience in the basement that was just repetitive, and people saw it. I had a flashlight move and respond to me. It was crazy. There were 15 people, 20 people, I don't know, maybe in the room that were watching this. It was so cool. And I got a lesson in dowsing rods from somebody who really knew what they were doing, and I was new to them. I really appreciated that. Um, and so yeah, so I really enjoyed that evening. And since then, I friended Matt on Facebook, and so we've kind of kept in touch. I will say this about that event over the summer. It was it was the highlight of my summer. Anybody who knows me knows that I really had a great anticipation for that event. I had my hair done, my nails done. I got a new outfit, all that kind of stuff. I went to the restaurant the night before and had dinner and scoped the place out and just made a real weekend out of it. And it was also my mother's birthday that weekend. And so I stayed at my mom's house when I went to this. But anyways, I think that's a pretty good introduction. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce Matt and have him join the stage, and I'm going to go ahead and interview him. So, welcome, Matt. I think I did a pretty good job of covering the bases of how we met, right?
You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything to that before we go on?
It was an awesome event. It was people got to see what it'd like to put on a professional production. We all had fun. The food was amazing. The guests were amazing. Scott was amazing what he did with the gallery reading. It was very professional, and it was great meeting you, great meeting Sue, great meeting other people. Even though I didn't have much time to interact with people because a lot of people don't know that when you put on a production, you got to make sure things go right. You know, with being a director and a host, you got to make sure everything goes right.
Well, I think that, at least for me, having a minute background in video production, I kind of knew that going in. It wasn't, how could you expect the producer and the director to be sitting back? So again, that's kind of what was cool about it, was to really see the behind the scenes of it, and how you produced and directed and interacted and did it all at the same time. Um, yeah, it was a really fun event. Um, in the basement, I don't think you were in the basement. You were probably upstairs doing some type of production administrative thing. Right in the basement, the whole group of us were down there, and there was we did the flashlight experiment. We all had flashlights, and my flashlight was, I was sitting next to a table, and well, I was feeling a presence of somebody that I knew around me all day anyway, so that was kind of weird. So I really feel like it was them instead of so much something at the restaurant. But anyways, not only did my flashlight interact when the group would ask questions, or the person leading the investigation would ask questions, or I would ask questions, but it rolled on the table on command like three different times. So it
Wow.
was, not only did the flashlight go on and on, the flashlight experiment where
Yep.
it's on, like a hair touch would just make it go off. So it was going on, but it was interacting to questions and rolling back and forth. And it was just very bizarre and very, very cool. So I felt it was very, very authentic.
I know we got a lot we got an amazing feedback from the audience that they enjoyed the show. I got so many messages saying it was like watching a real television production of a live, and we had our hiccups. It happens, but no, the activity was awesome. I actually when you guys were down in the basement, I actually took a photo of me and I sent it to a friend to show what I was doing, and she was like, "Who's that behind you?" And I'm like, "What?" And I went and I looked at the photo. You could actually see an apparition standing behind me. Oh, oh boy, we lost. Hey Stubbles, how's it going? Good to see you. We lost the host, so I guess I'm gonna just go sit here and wait for her to come back. Hello, everybody.
There we are. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh,
Well,
see, production, it happens.
it's absolutely those. These are the risks and the hazards of a live stream.
Yep.
And I think that's a real pro to be able to go with the flow of a live stream. So on that note, right back to what you were saying, what did your friend say that they saw behind you in that picture?
I sent her, she's like, "Hey, who's that standing behind you?" I was like, "Oh, that's my coach." She's like, "No, really look behind you." And I looked at the photo and I zoomed in and you could see it look like a body.
Well, that's pretty freaky. You'll have to share that with me. I would love
Yeah.
to see it. I would love to see it. Yeah, very active. Oh, and hi, Sybil. So I'm trying to
Hey
show
guys.
a couple of. Oh, there's Lori. I do have to give Lori a shout out. She did win a gal's gift bag from our Thanksgiving live stream for sharing her spooky coffee mug. Lori, let us know if it's arrived. I sent out about 10. I sent out 10 gals
I
goodie
love
bags, and
coffee, just saying. I love coffee.
it's okay. All right. Well, we will keep that in mind. We'll keep that in mind, Matt. Maybe you'll get a gal's goodie bag for
Oh.
being a guest on my show. Um, so, um, so let's back things up a little bit. I want to ask, how did you get first involved in like video production? I'm a few years older than you. My generation would call it television production and techniques, and I literally took a class in 1982 called
Mhm.
television production and techniques. And I'll tell anybody who listens that that class changed my life. It changed my life. That and another class called speech, which really gave me the confidence to speak in public, to do a live stream. You know, Matt, not everybody can do it, and sometimes people misconstrue what I believe to be a talent to speak publicly as conceit, and it's nothing could be further from the truth. I'm so insecure.
It's not easy hosting, I'll tell you that.
But if you're good at it, you're good. If you know, you know. If you can do it, you can. So, but anyways, like I said, for me, it would be television production and technique. For you, probably video. But how did you first get involved in it? What made you want to do the TV or the video aspect of it?
So when I was in my younger days, I was in my 18, 19, 16s. I used to hang out with a lot of friends, and we used to do role playing. Like we would actually become the characters. Our favorite was Resident Evil. So throughout the day, I'd be Chris Redfield. Somebody would be Jill Valentine, and we actually went out in the woods and recreated like the scenes. Like we had the fake props, we had the blood, we had the makeup, and that's what we did every weekend. So and that's how it became as I got into that. And then down the line, I was on Psychic Kids, Animal Planet, The Haunted, and then I got into background for that I was on the town with.
Sorry, you were on Psychic Kids.
Yes, I was on the Haunted Attic. I was at
I'll
the
have
Charles W. Morgan.
I've seen every episode of that. I'll have to go back. I mean, it's been a few years, but I'll have to go back and check it out. Were you a child star, Matt?
No, I was actually a paranormal investigator teaching the kids how to investigate the Charles W. Morgan ship. Those kids blew my mind. It was wild.
I'm sure. Kind of as an aside, you know Christy. I've been with Christy before, where Christy Parrish. She works with some students, teaching them paranormal investigating. These kids are so intuitive and so talented. It's mind blowing, mind blowing. It's so that's so cool. But anyway, so what around like what year was that? Would that have been?
I filmed that in 2007, 2006.
Okay,
And then
Sybil said
I think
she loves that show.
it aired in 2007. It's called The Haunted Attic. They filmed at Captain Grant's Inn, and then I got they invited me to the Charles W. Morgan ship at Mystic Seaport. That was with Kim Russo. She was the medium for those
Mhm,
episodes.
mhm. I know who she is, sure. Now, Mystic Seaport, I'm from Connecticut. You're from Connecticut as well?
Mhm.
What town are you from?
I'm from Enfield.
I'm from Bristol. So yeah,
Not
kind
that
of.
far.
No, no, it's kind of a small world. I'm very close to Lake Compounce,
Yep.
the amusement park, and I'm telling my cousin used to work there. My cousin's son works there. One of these days, I want to get in there and investigate. Um, I, oh, sorry, another aside. True story. Well, this back in 1982 when I first got involved in television production and technique. A young lady that we went to school with. This is not hearsay. This is, I could tell you her name. She hung out with us. She was a friend of ours. She was killed on the roller coaster at Lake Compounce. Her name was Michelle Johnson. I will say her name just to kind of honor her memory. But she was a friend of ours. And in 1982, 1983, June, I believe June of 1983, um and it was very, so it's not the first strange thing to happen there, and kids will be kids, and
Mhm.
whatever. But anyways, as I was saying, I have a very long history there. My family has a long history there. We've been going there since the wooden roller coaster. So I'd love to get in there and do an investigation, because I bet it's just full of stuff. And it's certainly Lake Compounce. It's named after Chief Compounce, who was the Native American or indigenous chief of that land before the Stretch Norton family took it over. Yeah, so that's anyways. That was a big aside on that. So again, small world. We're both from Connecticut. So you were saying that was back in. Oops, there I go again. Back in 2007. That's very exciting that you really started getting involved in that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool seeing what the production is, what they do to you, and that's kind of where I got the bug a little bit. But besides when I was recreating stuff when I was younger, but then with seeing the cameras and how they did everything, they made fun of me because the place was back then people were short, so I'm in the ship on the bottom with the kids and I'm smacking my head every time. The camera guy's laughing, the audio guy's laughing, the girls and the kids are laughing because I kept smacking my head. So it's just like it was fun, but what they did, mind blowing.
Yeah, the kids are just, they're so intuitive before their minds kind of get clouded by all the grown-up worries. And if they can learn to channel it and not be afraid of it, not be afraid of things, um,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe not be afraid of things. Somebody recently, a person that I love and admire very much, my friend Jennifer Holden, had said that one of the things that she admired about me was that I was fearless, and I said I'm not. Brave a lot of the times, very very brave, but fearless, no. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of everything, but I'm
I'm afraid
brave.
of
You're afraid of spiders?
Oh, no, 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 no. I will run. I won't run from spears, but I'll run from spiders.
Well, Matt, I'm in pest control, so I'll save you. But
Perfect.
but that's it's funny what you say that. I don't, have you ever been to the Oliver House in Middleborough,
No.
Massachusetts? Well, anybody who watches my live stream knows I can't get away with not bringing up the Oliver House in Middleborough. It's a great house, great property, very historic and very active. But they have beautiful grounds there. And I've been on a few investigations there, and they've gone out onto the grounds at night. And I say, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, but I am afraid of coyotes and bears and rabid raccoons, and like you are of spiders, like legit, some things you really do need to be afraid of. But yeah, spiders. I'm in pest control. I just got my license. I just got my pest control license.
Oh,
So
congrats.
I'll save you from the spiders. So anyways, it sounds like your beginnings were wrapped, the television and the paranormal. So that was kind of the beginnings of both. But when you did the kind of like the acting and stuff, that was because you had access to video cameras, right? Or probably
Uh,
not cell phones back then.
no, they because I worked with I was supposed to go to the Captain Grant's house because I went there. The Captain Grant's Inn. I investigated there years ago, and they wanted me to do that. But then they said, "Hey, come to the Charles W. Morgan ship because I've already been there." And then that's how it. And then the same company who filmed Psychic Kids, they were also on Animal Planet: The Haunted, episode 5, The Demon House.
Oh, I'll have to check that one out too. And everybody pay attention. Check these episodes out. Oops, show Matt some support. Boy, I'm knocking over my this and my that, knocking everything over. Um,
Hey, Tom's in the house. Tom, if
so
you guys If you guys want to check out something, check out Tom and Arlene Dining with the Dead. Amazing people.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. I'm friends with Arlene on Facebook, through you, Matt. And I also have to say that Tom, um, when I'd said that somebody had given me some really good hands-on lesson on dowsing rods at that event in Derby, Connecticut, that was Tom. I was new at it, and he took one look at me and said, "Newbie in the house," but gave
Eh,
me a really good instruction. I don't want to say nurturing, but a very very gentle guidance on how to use them, and I remembered
Very,
that.
that's
So,
true. Very
so
knowledgeable.
that's you, Tom. I got to give a shout out to you. So thank you very much for helping me learn how to handle the dowsing rods better. Thank you. Yeah. Um, so in those early days, Matt, what would you consider in the early 2007 when you were involved in those programs? What were some of your influences?
Well, back then, obviously Ghost Hunters was a popular show, so that was pretty cool
I
to
love
watch
Ghost
that.
Hunters.
But what people don't know is that when I was a very young age, my family and I lived in the most haunted house in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. I don't want to give the address because people, but I've seen anywhere from shadow figures to toys floating to doors opening and closing. My sisters experienced the same things. My aunt experienced the same thing. And my aunt was a very gifted psychic medium who worked with FBI cases before she passed away. And then when she passed away, she told me that I had a choice I was going to make to either go a normal path or an opposite path. Well, obviously I took the opposite path. So it kind of runs in the family.
Wow. And certainly I know Windsor Locks, Connecticut. I know where that area is. My mom is in Harwinton. Have you ever heard of Harwinton?
I think I've
Probably
heard it,
not.
but I've never been up there.
It's over by Litchfield.
Oh,
That's where
okay.
it is. Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, anyways, I know anybody from Connecticut knows Windsor Locks. So, well, I was going to ask you what made you interested in the paranormal. So, you had some crazy experiences growing up. Now, as a family, yeah, Bruce brings up a good point. A lot of us who are interested in the paranormal did grow up in haunted houses,
Yep.
and oh yeah, Leatherman territory. He passed through Bristol, my town, for sure, and probably passed through Litchfield, where my mother is now, in that area. It's the foothills of the Berkshires. I think the Berkshires, isn't that where the tale of who's the guy that fell asleep? The Rip Van Winkle. And
Tom's
I
a
think it
book of
was
knowledge.
Oh, was that? Oh no, that was the Catskills. Sorry, that was the Catskills. Sorry. Um, Interesting. I just might have to do a live stream on that. Um, but anyway, so growing up in a house like that would certainly make me interested in the paranormal,
Mhm.
and I am absolutely a Ghost Adventures fan. There it is, Tom. Exactly, Rip Van Winkle. Thank you. And yeah,
Book of
the
knowledge.
Catskills. I had the wrong mountain range. Um, but as a family, did your whole family see things, or was it just you, or just your
No, it
siblings,
was
just the kids, and if everyone saw it, how did you handle it as a family?
It was my aunt saw it, my sister saw it. My mom could swear she would see it, but that's like one of the most hardest people to convince. I could show her like somebody floating, and she'll try to debunk it but it's funny. But no, everybody who's come to the house, like friends and stuff, they've all had experience. And the Windsor Locks Police Department back in the '90s knew our house, so they knew about it too. Our house was well known.
Wow, wow. Did you ever take any action? Have somebody come to the house?
Back then, it wasn't.
Priests or famous, you know who's from Connecticut, the
Yep.
Warrens, anything like that? Or you just
No.
handled it yourself and that was kind of the norm for you guys?
It was just like whatever it happens, It's just like I woke up to my sister's Barbie dolls floating. I'm like, okay, that's normal.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. I've had some pretty good paranormal experiences, but nothing like that. Um,
Oh,
but
yeah,
that
we
would
had people walking up and down the halls. One time it sounded like there was somebody breaking in the basement. Cops were called. They came in and searched. Everything was torn apart, but there was no signs of entry, no signs of breaks in. So we figured, it was the spirits.
scary though. Did you do anything as protections or wait, let me ask you this. Let me change the question. Were you a religious family growing up?
Well, we're Catholic, yep. But I was probably like, oh God, I was probably like 6, 7, or 8 at that time. I didn't know.
But your family didn't bring in priests or anything into the house. I just think that's kind of interesting, that balance of personally, I'm Christian and I'm not Christian. I was brought up under no religion, but I do subscribe to Christian beliefs. I guess probably most people do in some degree to some degree or another. So I just find that interesting to have that balance of accepting the paranormal and being Catholic. That's not too common without bringing some type of intervening factor in. But I suppose if nobody was being harmed or
No.
I don't know, possessed for lack of a bit. I where
Oh, yeah, yeah,
look,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
listen, Matt, where I don't come from any type of religious training, I do not personally, and this is gals. I want to remind everybody this is my channel and my show, so we're talking about my opinion. Personally, I certainly believe things can be negative, but I don't believe in demonic because I wasn't raised to believe in demonic. Now, I do believe that there can be negative things, and I do believe that there are things out there that were never human to begin with, and not everything that when they leave human transitions well or nicely. But personally, this gal, again, while I do believe that there are negative things that I cannot see and feel and that are there and can communicate with us, I personally do not believe in demonic. And that's just the world according to this gal.
Everybody, a lot of people in this field, they gotta accept everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has
Right,
their own, and
right.
you can't hate somebody for that. So if somebody doesn't agree with you or agrees with you, leave it as that. It's their opinions. You can't convince them otherwise. That's how I see it.
Well, that being said, about now you all know how I feel about demonic. I do love all the shows, and like you said, Ghost Adventures. That's for me. That was probably really the beginning of it for me because with no big camera crews following us around, that was very enticing to me. Look at these guys going in with just a few cameras and these handheld gadgets, and that was very, very appealing to me. I kind of feel like they're not in a favorable light right now with everybody, and it's like just too bad. They are OG to me. They are OG, and I think that people tend to be a school of either ghost adventures or was it ghost hunters? People tend to be one or the other.
Yep.
Well, when I was coming up on paranormal TV, they were on at the same time, and I do like Ghost Adventures a little bit more because they didn't have the big camera crews, but I liked them both. And to me, I'm not like one is one and one is the other. And
Summer's
yes,
a big Ghost Hunters fan. She watches it every week. She's a big fan. I look, Zach, his filming style, like this man took a camera and built an empire, and I am grateful for what he did with that. I love how the filming aspect of what he does, the paranormal. Yeah, it's entertainment. You gotta keep it entertainment, but I respect him for taking just a camera and building what he did.
I totally agree. I think for my perspective, where I said I always had that interest in television production and technique and video and the paranormal, for me, he kind of put it in reach that the average guy or gal, so to speak, could go out and do it and give it a shot. And honestly, for me, anybody who I've ghost hunted with, Sue, I know you're in there, Sybil, you're in there, Bruce, anybody who's ghost hunted with me knows that I have a little $79 camera, but it's 4K high def night vision and it captures some great stuff. And that's me with no big camera crew following me around. Uh, right. And I just
It's
think,
true. It's true.
yeah, it just made it very attainable for me. And that's what I appreciate about it. And then I also, for myself, I also found very entertaining the spinoff, the young kid there. I actually like eh, I'm gonna fangirl for a second. I love all of them. I love Twin Paranormal. I love Sam and Cody, and I know a lot of it is theatrics. Um, I am aware of that. But I do like, I learned things about history. There's no denying that. I do like seeing different styles. I loved watching people do the Estes method in Estes Park. That was cool. And I saw that for the first time on Sam and Cody. So or Colby. I wouldn't have seen that if I didn't watch that. So I think it's like you said, you have to know kind of where the entertainment value is and then kind of where the serious ones are. You have to have discerning taste
Oh, of course.
when you watch it, and definitely the entertainment value of Ghost Adventures for sure. And come on, who doesn't love Aaron, you know? Right? It's like kind of everybody's favorite bumbling brother or something, who
They got
doesn't
the
love
combo
him?
down. Yeah.
They really do. They really do. So, Sue, yes, Jeremiah Lee House. Oh, great capture on my little I'm gonna show that again. My Matt, I caught not one, but two shadow figures
Oh, wow.
within, in the same 4 seconds. One really quick, and then the next one much slower, and absolutely no doubt. I will have to send you this clip. This is
Oh, I'd love to see that. Absolutely.
when I sat down at my computer and I reviewed that clip. I said, "Well, I don't ever have to do another paranormal investigation again as long as I live." I believe that I filmed what I would call the Holy Grail on my $79 4K night vision camera that I bought on Amazon that I liked so much that I bought two of them. There you go. What do you got there?
This is a body camera. It shoots at 2K with 1080p. When I go out and do stuff on my own, I put it on my shirt, and that's it. You don't. So a lot of people think that you need thousands and thousands and $1,000 to go do all this stuff. Remember back in the 90s, it was a digital recorder and a Sony Hi8 camera. You know?
The price of the technology's gone up and the prices come down. Being a kind of a techno video geek, I mean, the minute video cameras came out, I've had them. So I've had them from, I would say, from I don't know, the late 80s, all different formats, and
Yep.
Sony mini disc cameras when they were
Oh,
$2,000.
yes. I had one of
So,
those.
and I got, this is kind of a cool story. So my husband, this was back in the day, and we were newlyweds, and money was tight. But I was really getting involved in all this because computers were coming out. So you had like Windows Movie Maker, which was a great way to cut your teeth on
Oh,
learning how to.
yeah.
Didn't you love it? I wish I could. It was so
Oh,
easy to use, right? It was excellent, right? So anyway, so yeah, we were newlyweds and we didn't have a lot of money, and overtime came up at my husband's work, and he had an opportunity to work like a couple weeks of hardcore overtime. And he came home and he said to me, "I think I'd like to keep my overtime money." And I said, "Okay, honey," gulp, and went about my merry way and kept my mouth shut like a good wife. And about a month after the overtime was over, he said, "Hey, honey, I have a surprise for you." And I said, "What's that?" And he pulled out from behind his back what's the Sony editing software for the computer? And I was so excited.
oh,
I can't think of the name of it, but I loved it.
you're talking about Sony Vegas.
Sony Vegas. That's how long ago this was, Matt. Okay. But Sony Vegas was primo, and
Oh,
you know it.
yes.
And I was like, "Oh my God, $100 software. Oh, honey, thank you so much." Right. He goes, he goes, "That's not your surprise." And he pulls out from behind his other hand the Sony mini DVD camera. And again, that was when they were
Yes. Yes.
$2,000. And now you can get a Sony mini DV camera for probably about $400 or $500. And now, I mean, I'm not
Oh,
going back for my $79 camera now, but that was a very big deal. I was never, ever, ever so glad in all my life to not bitch about something to my
yeah.
husband. Just be like, "Okay, honey." It's like, "Oh my God, what are you going to do with all that money?" And he surprised me, and it was so wonderful, wonderful surprise. And I put the stuff
That's
to
a
good
great
use.
surprise.
Yeah, yeah, it was a really, really good surprise, and I could have put it to use. But through the years, like I said, the technology has increased and the
Oh,
price.
it's
It's
insane.
like with televisions. I saw Black Friday televisions, $88. Oh, I saw a 50-inch TV for less than 200 bucks. It's like, oh
Yeah,
my
my
God.
TV just did an update. Now it's got AI in it. I'm like, what the hell?
What do you talk to it? Do you do like Siri or okay Google? My phone will turn on.
Apparently, you turn on the AI and it goes into all your settings and it makes everything better. It's just like, all right, well.
Well, I like my little Fire Stick.
Incredibly helpful.
Sorry, my phone's listening to me.
Oh, see, that's because of what I said, right? That's why
Yeah,
when
yeah.
yeah.
She came out a little British.
Tom, I got to agree with you. Reel to reel, there's just nothing like it.
Oh, I love those. Yeah, those magnetic. A lot of people they like to use the old school tape players because the magnetic in the tapes actually get better EVPs than the digital voice recorders.
Maybe that's something I'll have to keep an eye out for. Like on eBay or something like that, Um, although, I'm thinking like, oh, pick an older one up really cheap. No, we were looking for an old VCR for my cousin and forget it. You can find them, but they're so expensive. You can't
Stop!
get a
Not even
cheap.
affordable.
So, um, but let's see. So I think all these, all these questions kind of like merged into all these answers.
Hey,
So let me ask you this, Matt. So we talked about at least one of your past projects, and I see you've got the Dark Echoes poster behind you. Matt has a great show on it's on tell us where it's on. It's a great show.
whew.
Watch it. And
So
you'll see people on that show. Monique, Scott,
yep, Monique, yep,
um,
Scott, yep.
other people.
John from Apparition Hall, yep, Project Apparition Hall, he's on there, yep. Lindsay from Phantom, her YouTube channel, she did amazing. So we're on Amazon Prime because the show's doing so good. Now you can watch it free with ads on Amazon. I just got the email from them saying that you can now watch it with free with ads. We're on Farsome TV, Sling TV. I found out a couple weeks ago we're on Apple TV Plus now, which is awesome. And then also our number one people that I love working with, Natalie and Patty of Paraflix, are still on there. Show's still rocking. I actually have something dropping December 12th. It's a horror short that I filmed. You guys got to watch that. A little graphic, but I wanted to take my filming to a whole nother level. I shot the whole horror short with moonlighting, so you got to check that out. Came out really good. We had amazing actresses, amazing actor, amazing makeup artists. They did an amazing job on that. So December 12th, it's going to be on Paraflix. It's called Home Late. Awesome stuff. And I just checked out the ratings. Something in November, December skyrocketed. We're like really popular back in the United Kingdom again.
Well, I recommend for everybody watching to definitely check out Dark Echoes Paranormal on Amazon Prime and whatever platform you can get it on, and definitely keep an eye out for this new one that's coming up. That sounds very exciting. I can't wait to see something filmed in moonlight. That just sounds so cool. Now,
I
that's a
wanted to,
fiction. That's a
yeah, I
fiction
wanted.
piece.
So what I wanted to do was, a lot of people you can do the contrast with moonlighting and tungsten lighting to give that orange and teal look. But I wanted to really push my filming skills harder. I wanted to see if I can actually take moonlight with my lighting and make it look like it's real, and then light the actors, light the house, light the scene. And I knocked it out of the park. I sent it to my friends that I don't know in Hollywood. They loved the look. They loved everything about it. They said that it looks like a $100,000 production, and I wanted to really to really push my lighting skills even harder.
Well, that sounds really, really exciting, and I can't wait to see it. It sounds visually exciting.
No,
With
it's graphic. I will warn you, it is pretty graphic. It's a
okay.
horror short, so it's got blood and gore. So.
Well, this is an 18 plus platform, so you can talk about that. Can you tell us a little bit about it without the spoilers?
So yeah, a good friend of mine, Julie, messaged me. She said, "Hey, I want to do this horror short, but I know people, but your filming style is like Hollywood. I would love for you to film." And I said, "Okay, send me the script." And we went through the script. I contacted my brother. He's like a best friend of mine, Brennan. I worked with him in many stuff. I said, "Hey, I got a great project for you." He's like, "I'm all on board." And then I reached out to a makeup artist and I told her about it. She's like, "I'm on board." And then we had our executive producer, Jason. He was on board. And I started talking to my good friend Kyle, who's well known in the industry. And I told him I want to do moonlighting. He said, do it, man. Let me see what you can do. And I showed him it, and he was blown away. He loves my lighting. If he has like a big gig coming out, he's going to hire me for the lighting. So it's just, yeah. And I really wanted to push. So, we did a lot of blocking, we did a lot of rehearsal, and then when it was time, we filmed, and it just came out. It came out better than I expected. I really pushed myself in post-production with the color grading that I learned from Walter Valpito. He's Hollywood's biggest colorist. Thank you, Walter. And and then I wanted to do like sound effects, visual effects, Foley effects, and I really nailed that perfectly to understand footsteps, knife stabbing, and then dive more deep into music. And it came out better than I expected.
It sounds like you really had your hand in all aspects of the production of this. What's your credit going to be? Producer, director,
I don't want to do too much. I just put director.
lighting? Oh,
Yeah, no,
director.
I just
Okay.
put director. People
Okay.
don't know the lighting and stuff like that. They don't need to know all about that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can't give, when you do indie films, you can't give yourself a lot of titles because it makes So I just said director, fine, and it came out
Yeah.
better than I expected.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. I made a short film for I live in Quincy, Massachusetts. I made a short film for the city of Quincy, and it sure looked funny at the end to say written, produced, directed by blah blah, all by me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that looks like I'm really full of myself, even though I did. I wrote it, I produced it, I directed it. Um,
I did
but
the same
yes,
thing as you
I should have
in my
just said directed
early
by.
days. Yep,
Yeah, yeah. Um, so that sounds really exciting. I look forward to watching that. What's it called again?
it's called Home Late.
Home Late, and it's a short film. So what constitutes a short film, Matt?
It's about 6 minutes long, so it is a short.
Hi, Mark, my good friend Mark. Hi, Mark. Just gonna say hello there. Um, so anyway, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
It's
I was
about
saying,
6 minutes long. That's about it. We wanted to push it a little bit longer, but rehearsal and blocking that took the longest because I want to make sure that the lights weren't in the shots. I want to make sure the actress knew. Then when it was time for like the graphic scenes, we did a lot of rehearsing. We did a lot of blocking. So when you watch it, you can see it was well done.
I think what's you hear a short film and I think that your first thought is like, oh, 6 minutes. This better pack a punch. But I also want to say that to know what goes on behind the scenes to produce 6 minutes of quality video is hours and hours and hours. And if you have ADHD, it really helps
Yeah,
to really focus.
a
But
lot of people don't know is when you're on a big Hollywood sets. And when you're at a location just for one day, you're doing pages. You're not doing the script. So let's say page one had 3 scenes of dialogue. That's what you're doing all day. You're in that one position all day, and then the following day, if the scene is done and there's another scene in the same spot, they do it again. It's not like they go from script to script. They don't go from shot to shot to shot. Like they don't go from outside to that. They pick pages of when you're filming. So I learned that. I didn't know about that. I was doing the same thing. I thought I had to go from shot to shot to shot. Nope. If the page had 5 pages in the kitchen, that's what you film all day.
yeah, lot of stuff behind the scenes, just and the post production as well. You're talking about the
Oh,
lighting, the sound effects, the music, making sure that the music's not too loud, that it's the right kind of music, that it fades in the right place, that it fades. What's a big mistake you can make is not fade your music. You know that.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's
I just find it very interesting that what I just love is the well-rounded aspect of the video production and the paranormal, and that's gals finds that very very interesting. And Tom, you said something, hours equals mere seconds. I know when I'm what I call in the editing room, whether I'm just reviewing footage or I'm putting a project together. um Gosh, you see this. I'm gonna remove me and you for a second, Matt. just that little graphic of haunted houses with those little blah blah blahs. Um, that was a day of work, a day of work. And then I had made an intro and an outro with it, but to get every little minutia right, and to get to back it up to what I was saying to Tom, the hours equal mere seconds. You can get very laser focused in these kind of projects. Like, I'll
Yeah,
be down, I'll be
when
down for dinner in a minute, and then the next thing you know, an hour's gone by, right?
when you're in post production, like I film on Red Komodo, and that's a 6K raw sensor. So when I put it in post production, it's a very flat image, and I have to create a look that I'm trying to do for that scene. You know, you got to make sure the lighting is good. You got to make sure the exposure is good. You got to make sure everything is shot right on the set that day. Never, if somebody ever says we can fix it in post, walk off the set and call it quits, because you can't fix a lot of things in post. So that's why, you know, with the paranormal show, I got to always make sure, you know, the exposure's right, the lighting looks good. Don't worry about windows overblown, because if you watch a lot of Hollywood movies and TV shows, a lot of the background windows, they're overblown. But the reason why is so you can see the actors, or you can see, or they only have the windows in focus so you can see something outside the window that's meant to be seen. So I worried about that a lot. And then my friend said, hey, stop worrying about the damn windows. Make sure your actors are able to be seen. I'm like, okay. So post-production, it's not fun. You know, you got to put the story together. Then you got to put the you know, the lighting, I mean the color grading together. And then after the color grading, you have to put the audio together. And then after the audio, it just goes on and on and on. It takes, like, for me to edit one show, it takes me about 3 to 4 weeks.
And continuity. I just have to throw that in there. And also, Matt, for Sandy, say the name of the show again. That's, oh, Dark Echoes, Sandy. Dark Echoes Paranormal. See the poster behind him? That's the show that's on Amazon.
Dark
Okay,
Echoes
so
Paranormal. Yeah, you can Google it. It'll come up all the
yeah,
platforms it's on.
yeah, check it out. So again, I do find all of that kind of post-production stuff very interesting. I've made a few short films in my life besides the putting together video evidence and making short films of that. I spent some time, and I kind of miss it, and I'd like to get back to it, but who's got that kind of time, right? Are you familiar with the game The Sims?
Oh yeah, I remember The Sims. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I pushed it to its limits making movies. It's got one. Did you know that? Did you know that
Oh
it's
wow.
got built-in
No, that,
cameras and you can preset the angles? So that's what I would do instead of play a game. I would decorate a set and come up with a storyline and film and I did. Oh God, I'm such a dork. Oh my God. I found a 10-minute audio version of The Telltale Heart, and I did
okay.
that in The Sims. So it's like an animated film. But I mean, it was I love it. I watch it, once a year. I suggest you all watch it and like it too.
We're
Um,
When it
it's
comes to filming, we're always our own critics.
well, of course, but also this is like oh, and another one that I did. I would love to share this one with you because this was a blast. Do you remember a song from the 70s called Angie Baby by Helen Reddy? Oh, come on. Who in this audience remembers
I
that
was born
song?
in '82, so no.
Okay, so yeah, I graduated high school in that year. Well, there's a song by Helen Reddy called Angie Baby about a girl who's a little bit crazy. And she
Okay.
gets taken out of school, and kids in the neighborhood starts disappearing. Tom,
Oh, Tom.
that emphatic yes is at me. And he knows that song. He knows that song. So if you go to my YouTube page, look for it, Angie Baby, on my YouTube page. And I did a music video to it where I kind of told the story. Um, but again, I just want to kind of lament and say even my little videos, there's so much involved, and even making sure in an animation that shadows are right. Well, The Sims has very intricate lighting in The Sims for for that kind of thing, and really good cameras and you know that kind of stuff.
I mean, look
But
at the lighting behind me. You know, I got the green, and I got the professional key lighting, and everything looks exposed perfectly.
And mine does not. I do have new lighting coming from Santa Claus. So I usually, when I'm going to live stream, I spend the afternoon sitting here testing all different kinds of lights and different angles till I get it where I don't look, like I've got the flu or something,
For
you know.
you, I would do what they call butterfly lighting. It's going to be above the camera just an inch until you have that little butterfly under your nose, and then it gives the women's facial very nice facial look, very nice. It's called a beautiful lighting. That's what you want to do. And then if you want to make sure to raise the shadows, put like a whiteboard underneath you so it just pops up the shadows a little bit underneath your. So it'll give you that nice flat. That's kind of what I have almost like right now. If you see the butterfly underneath my nose, that's beautiful lighting.
Well, my lighting will be here tomorrow. So it's for Christmas. I didn't say I was going to put it under the tree. So and that's but thank you for those tips. That's exactly where I'm going to put it, a little above the camera.
Yep.
And I have plenty of lighting that I can move around and put something under here. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Um, and I've got my background is actually on the wall. I can see yours as a wall too. I hang different things instead of using green screens because green screens can look a little funny,
Oh,
especially because I don't have the greatest camera. So I have different backgrounds that I put up for
green
different
screens are hard
stories
to
that I
light.
tell. Let's see. Look at this. There's Tom really singing your you're the road runner whipping down the road. Um, But I think that's what I liked about that event that we went to earlier in the summer was that you really did make sure everything was perfect. Kind of, I don't know, bear with me. You made sure everything was perfect without being a perfectionist.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? I don't want to say, and Matt was a perfectionist. No, because you weren't a perfectionist and things went wrong. You were a professional because when things went wrong or some graphic didn't come up or whatever, you rolled with it and you said, "All right, we need to do blah blah blah." So yeah, that really impressed me a lot. Everything about that whole event impressed me. It was so much fun. Um, and yeah, making sure everybody was comfortable and happy. You made sure that we all ate the food. Not only was it delicious, but you made sure. Did you? You were like my Italian grandmother, Matt. Orchestrating this whole thing. Did you eat? Did you have something to drink? There's more drinks in the cooler over there. And does everybody have a chair to sit in? You can leave your bags here. I mean, I'm joking, but only half joking because you seriously took good care of us. And I would definitely look forward to another event if you were to put it on.
Things could happen. Like right now, I can't go into too much details, but I got hired to film a TV pilot for a huge network. I'm working on something new for season 2. I'm shooting a promo for my full feature movie. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm not on social media no more. I decided to take a break, and I love everything about it. I've been productive more. I've been going to meetings. I've actually got back into shape again. I feel good about myself again. And social media just drags you down, and so it's just like a lot of good stuff happening behind the scenes.
Well, I'm sorry that you're off social media because I do miss seeing you and kind of interacting with you, but I'm really glad that you joined us tonight, Matt. Again, I want to thank you for that event over the summer, which, like I said, anybody who knows me, I called it, this is going to be the highlight of my summer. And it was, it did not disappoint. So I really loved that. I appreciated meeting you and Tom and Arlene and all my other friends that were there. It was just, we made a weekend out of it. I went the night before and had dinner and a little bit of an aside. The night before, when we were at the restaurant and had dinner, I brought a friend with me who had never been to any kind of psychic event, ghost hunt, nothing. So we went the night before for dinner. We were with Candace and Derek. We had dinner with them, and Scott and Michelle Love were doing a room reading.
Yep, yep.
And so, like I said, we had dinner, and my friend, who's my age, 61, had never had anything like this before. And as soon as, I mean, within seconds of Scott opening his mouth, Scott was describing my friend Joan's father, right down to the handkerchief in the pocket, to the almost like the Dickies work shirt and the Oh my God. And my friend kept looking at me and I'm just nodding my head going, I told you. I told you. And she's like, you didn't tell. I said, I would never, ever, ever interfere with the integrity of something like that. And she
Scott's
was
amazing.
just floored. She was just floored. So that was really the beginning of the whole weekend, because then it was the next night was your event. So again, I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate that we're maintaining our friendship, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule tonight to join us here on Gals, to tell us about your passion and your past and your history and what you've got coming up. Very exciting projects from Matt. I'm going to have him tell us about where we can watch him and what his project is one more time, his short film, where we can watch Dark Echoes and your short film one more time, Matt.
So you can watch Dark Echoes Paranormal Season 1 on Amazon Prime with free ads, Sling TV, Farsum, Paranormal Investigation TV, Apple TV Plus, and the amazing Paraflix as well. Home Late is actually coming to Paraflix only, so I'm excited about that. It's going to be dropping December 12th, I believe, at 9 p.m. That's what I was told. And glad you had an awesome time, Nathan. And yeah, so hey, Raven, awesome, amazing girl, Raven. She's I've known her for years. We used to investigate. She's an awesome person. Check out her stuff. She's on TikTok, and she kind of got to get back into ghost hunting. So I hope to see her back on the field. And yeah, so Paraflex Home Late is where you're going to be able to watch the horror short.
Oh, can't wait. Definitely watch Matt's stuff. And Raven, you did join a little late. Once this buffers or whatever, go back and watch it from the beginning. And Mark is calling you an interesting young man. He's a new Matt fan. Listen, Matt, if you've got Mark Ramponi on your side, you have everything you need in life. Trust me. Trust me, you have everything you need in life. Um, and Lisa, thank you everybody for watching. We had such a great audience tonight. Matt, I'm going to say goodnight to you, and then I'm going to say goodnight to my audience. So good night, and thanks again, Matt.
It was
Um,
an honor.
thank you. Geez, guys, what an awesome, awesome show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I loved everybody's comments. I'm so sorry if I didn't get to interact with you. And so much gratitude to Matthew Ryan Kondracki. Great guy. Love his events. If you have a chance to go see anything, do it. Watch his program, Dark Echoes, on Amazon Prime and all the other channels that he said, and his horror short. I can't wait to watch that. That's coming out in December. I'm going to have him PM me, DM me that information so I can share it with you. Sue, thank you for watching. Sybil, thank you all very, very much, you guys. What a wonderful night. And I'll see you all next Saturday. Thank you and good night.